Ilhan Omar was elected into Congress. She started her first year, and her financial disclosure for that year was a negative net worth. When this was first reported, she absolutely denied the fact that she's a millionaire. But then a couple months later, she filed her financial disclosure. We saw a 3,500 increase in net worth compared to the previous year. Now, members of the U.S. House of Representatives earn about an annual salary of $174,000. Even if she saved every penny from her salary from the last 6 years, it wouldn't be anywhere close to $30 million. So what did suddenly happen? Oh, let's look at her husband's businesses, Tim Minette. Ilhan and her husband own two businesses, one of them being a winery and the other one being a venture capital firm. In 2023, the value of the winery was roughly anywhere between $15,000 to $50,000. And just a year later, that same winery is now valued at anywhere between $1 million to $5 million. If you think that's suspicious, wait till you see this venture capital business. In 2023, the company had less than $1,000 in assets. Well, a year later, this venture capital that anyone can invest into is now valued at $5 million to $25 million. And what's even crazier is that the company claims to have $60 billion in assets under management. So Ilhan, please tell us, how does this happen? Is this just by luck, or is somebody or a foreign country perhaps funding this?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is actual news regarding Ilhan Omar of her committing actual fraud and closing down her winery 9 days before the disclosure. So it seems like some crazy things are happening with her, and that she may actually be facing charges now. So things are not going good for the old Somali congresswoman, and honestly, she just needs to be deported and arrested away from our country because she is a detriment to our country. So without further ado, we have this. So right now we have that how Ilhan Omar and her husband Tim Minette's talent for making money appear and disappear could lead to serious charges. So we have this here where Ilhan Omar is claiming the $30 million error on her congressional financial disclosures was a simple mistake, but lawmakers aren't buying it. They point to the Democratic firebrand and her current husband's curious history of making money conveniently appear and disappear when it suits them, at least on paper. So she says she could Omar could be hit with felony charges if she is found to have lied about the cash. Minnesota Omar's financial disclosures of 2024 filed last year additionally valued her husband Minette's business at $6 million and $30 million. This week, Omar claimed she and Minette's net worth wasn't actually tens of millions of dollars after all. They actually have less than $100,000 combined, according to the Wall Street Journal. Omar's office told the newspaper valuations of Minette's companies and a winery in California and venture capital from registered in Delaware were made in error and blamed their accountant, because somehow you can confuse between $30,000 and $30 million or $6,000. That's crazy. I mean, there's a few extra zeros there, but I mean, what do I know, right? When asked about the discrepancies by Lindo TV reporter, Omar retorted, "I think you're stupid for asking me anything. I don't want to tell you shit about that." But Minette's track record in business and his finances raises plenty of questions as he frequently swings between millions of bankruptcy. Omar and Minette were first financially linked when his political consulting firm, E Street Group LLC, was paid $2.9 million by her campaign between 2019 and 2020. So right now, I'm going to show you the Breakfast Club clip here of her kind of trying to explain away the huge discrepancy between the $30,000 and the millions of dollars that seems to just, go missing.
Said you reported a net worth between $6 million and $30 million, and they said your 2023 disclosure was roughly $40,000. Between $40,000 and $250,000.
Yeah, but they're not net worths. They're like the asset things for the companies, and so I don't know what percentage of it my husband actually has investment in. Like that's not, you know what I mean? It's not a full picture of the numbers in the way that it is presented in the document, because in the documents we have to do ranges and we have to report in a way that is not detailed. It's not like your tax return that you're submitting for the public record to see.
But that is a big increase, though. So you could understand why people would ask questions.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it'll get adjusted.
Now, she says, I'm pretty sure it will get adjusted. What's the pretty sure? Because that's a statement that is a statement saying that you just don't know if that will be adjusted or not. So are you saying that there's a potential chance that it won't get adjusted because that is true? I mean, you got to understand the words here, right? And I think if I was in this situation and I knew it was an error, and I mean an immense error, I would be like, yeah, I'm going to get. When I get off of this, I'm going to immediately get this done and make sure that this error is actually fixed. Not just I think it will be adjusted. No, I'm going to do that immediately. It's just like, I'm very frugal with my finances and my money. So I am not just going to be like, oh, well, I am somehow missing almost 100x of what I have in my account or my financial statement. That's a little crazy, don't you think? I mean, I think I'm going to notice between one or two zeros, between an extra one or two zeros. You know, I mean, one or two zeros is a pretty big deal. I mean, come on here. Let's be real. So, again, we have this from Libs at TED saying that Ilhan Omar just refused to show up for a Minnesota fraud hearing to answer questions about her involvement in the massive feeding or future fraud scheme. She's panicking. Yeah, so that just goes to show. So here's what I have with this, right? When it comes to things that are related to, you committing a crime. So if you are innocent, you are most likely going to go to it to explain yourself that you're not doing this, right? Like you're not you're clear and you're not a victim or what have you. Well, you might be a victim, but you are not a person that has done this crime. Well, if you're not showing up to it, it's the same thing to criminals not showing up to their hearing because they know that they have done it. Well, that's a telltale sign that you might actually be the person in the doo-doo box, right? So you might be doomed. So again, we have more with this, that Ilhan Omar just got caught red-handed. Omar's fraud-ridden winery has officially shut down after the Somalis pirate reported her net worth plummeted from $30 million down to $100K. No wonder Omar wants everyone to stop talking about this. Per docs obtained by Michael H. the company has formally dissolved. There it is. So, this is what we have here.
Hi, Congresswoman Omar. You were just talking about how Trump's economy has failed the American people, but I think the American people really want to know how you went from a negative $65,000 before coming into Congress to over $30 million in just 7 years.
My disclosure is public now.
Yeah, it is. And so a lot of people now are looking into that and finding S. Crew Winery, a winery that doesn't actually seem to exist. Is that a real winery, or?
Do you all actually look at and read things, or do you just ask silly questions?
Well, it's listed in the financial disclosure, so can you explain it? Because we have a lot of questions about it, and things just aren't adding up. There's no real phone number. There's no real location.
Why did you want to buy some wine?
Probably not from you, to be honest. Recently stated that the American people should be afraid of the white man. They should be fearful of the white man.
I never said that.
Yeah, you're on video saying it.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. No, I did not.
Yes, you.
Again, this is like what I said. You need to prepare yourself because you can't continue embarrassing yourself like this.
So I'm just a liar.
Yeah, this is showing you on how bad that this person is. She is outright, and I'm going to talk about the reporter here. I'm talking about Ilhan Omar, to where she is outright just straight up lying and saying that she didn't say this when she is literally out right there as you seeing her saying that she hates the white man and they're the biggest problem of actual crime. Little do we know it's people of her skin color that are actually the ones purporting the most crime. But what do I know, right? I mean, I guess I'm black. I just shouldn't have any say in the matter, considering I know what my type of group people are doing, but I digress. And let's be perfectly clear. There is a difference between black people and Somalis. And the black people of this country are way more intelligent than, well, the Somalis of this country, quite honestly, which is showing to be quite true in this clip here. And it's also showing that I know kind of the issues that plagues the black community. So I don't know what else to tell you people.
Was quoting was an actual study done by the FBI.
Okay. Thank you. Just prepare next time. All right. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Just prepare next time. Yeah, just prepare when there's actual evidence of that happening. So we have this here to where the Michael Holmstrom says Ilhan Omar's sham winery was dissolved 9 days after her updated disclosures. So we have this here. And, of course, it is with the State of California Office of Secretary Certificate of Cancellation, LLC, and termination. It was filed. And it was, and we have electronic signature by signing. I affirm under penalty of perjury that the information herein is true and correct, and that I'm authorized by the California law. William R. Haler, which is the person that is here, and we have all that stuff. So again, this is not looking too great for good old Ilhan Crazy
What I'm about to show
Omar.
you is the most.
And she also has a problem with talking to people like this. And then we also have more information. Omar is a California winery under financial disclosures. You can see them below. The winery name is True LLC. In 2023, it was valued at $15K. In 2024, it was valued at $5 million. That's insane. That's an immense increase in the course of 1 year. There's supposed to be a very successful winery to grow that much value in over 1 year, except the winery does not even exist. No phone line, no physical winery, social media gone dark, a barely functional website, no wine. It gets worse. Omar's third husband, Tim Manette, has been accused of defrauding investors through this fake winery. He was sued by the investors for millions because it's all fraudulent. This is on brand. Minnesota AG Keith Ellison previously worked with Manette, the same AG who refused to investigate widespread Somali fraud. So, you can see there's a connection here, right? So we have this here, and we're going to only do a little bit of this. I'm not going to do a whole thing, but we need to see what's going on.
Omar's official financial disclosures, and what I found was so dark and criminal, I don't know how she gets out of this without going to jail. Have a look at this. Here's Ilhan Omar's financial disclosure from the Congressional Record, year 2023. I want to bring your attention to this company right down here, True LLC. This is a winery in Santa Rosa, California. It's not doing that well. The total value of the winery is listed at $15,000, and Ilhan Omar's barely making any money off of it at all. Hardly enough to pay a.
So the income is between $201 to $1,000. That's the actual income. So unless the income somehow dramatically increased by, I don't know, like 1,000% I do not see on how remotely this is even going to come close to even getting this amount of money to $15 million. So obviously you can see here there's an issue.
Parking ticket. Okay, that's fine. Nothing really mysterious there. Businesses fail all the time. But go ahead and look at her filing for 2024, and you'll find that True Winery, the same company in the same location, is now worth $5 million. That's incredible, up from $15,000. And now Ilhan Omar's making enough to pay rent. So this must be one of
Yeah, so you can obviously see here there is a huge weird thing going on with this, right? And again, you have this here to where, from News 4 saying, Ilhan Omar ditched $250 million feeding our futures fraud hearing. Minnesota lawmakers allege the congresswoman was involved in the scheme that stole hundreds of millions in COVID-era federal funds. The Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee summoned her for questioning on Tuesday, but she no-showed. The committee discussed evidence of her complicity in the scam, noting she was a U.S. House member who introduced the Meals Act, which caused a scandal. They reviewed a video in which she praised a Somali restaurant whose owners later used her earmarked money to purchase luxury homes, cars, and travel. And this is what we have here.
Certain congresswoman's not so stellar record of honesty and competence. Last year, Ilhan Omar's financial disclosure revealed skyrocketing wealth. It showed a whopping net worth of up to $30 million, a 3,500% increase in wealth compared to just 2 years prior. Now she's trying to convince the world that she's actually only worth $95,000. Still quite a jump from 2 years ago, but in an eye-popping revision of her disclosure, Ms. Omar is saying the multi-million-dollar discrepancy was nothing more than an accounting error. In what world is a multi-billion-dollar correction to a person's financial disclosure considered normal? Perhaps this member's accountant, perhaps Ilhan's accountant, is a graduate from the Quality Leering Center. Either way, this about face shows incompetence at best and a cover-up at worst. But this is just the latest in a long list of head-turning stories relating to this member from Minnesota. Ilhan cannot escape accountability much longer. Investigations are ongoing in House committees. The Trump administration has waged war on fraud. Her ties to convicted Feeding Our Future fraudsters are well documented. And her defense of these criminals who stole billions from hardworking taxpayers makes it very clear where her allegiance stands. Make no mistake, if Ilhan Omar is discovered to have been involved in any or to have benefited in any way from any fraud, she must be held accountable to the fullest extent. And by the way, that includes marriage fraud. I yield to our...
Yeah, so it looks like the doors are starting to close in onto her, and she is not looking to be very great. So hopefully that this woman is going to go to jail, and then immediately when she goes to jail, she is deported from our country and never to be and banned from entering our country ever again. That would be the correct way of doing this, because she is obviously not a trustworthy person. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.